Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast. It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You've got a for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again, it's MRN's Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires here on Motor Racing Network, right here on MRN.com. We are glad you joined us. Talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post along the way here as we continue on with the 2017 season. Great program for you. The Buckeye Bullet, Dave Blaney going to join us, and we're going out west. Bud Kaeding, also fresh off from a wing in the King of the West Series, he's going to join us as well. As I mentioned, Erin Evernham alongside. How are you? Everything good in your world?
Very good.
Oh,
How about you?
I'm fantastic. Got back from Road America. Had a great winter up there in the NASCAR side. Going to Darlington, have a love throwback weekend, and but I see you guys had little shenanigans there for a birthday party for Ray. How about
Ray
that?
turned 60 this past weekend, so we had a huge party.
You guys had
Yep.
you guys threw
Yep.
a
a lot of that cough syrup that I know we talk about
cough
around
syrup,
here.
exactly,
Yep,
yep.
the little
Got it.
moonshine maybe.
Yes, exactly.
Celebrated our anniversary, our 8th anniversary. So
Awesome.
It was
Well,
a good weekend. I'm
congratulations.
still kind of recovering, but I'm doing
Nothing
all
wrong
right.
with that. I see you even broke out the winning sprint car that he had. He broke that out.
You know what? It was our anniversary, and I didn't see my sprint car out there.
Well, no,
about
absolutely. There you go. Exactly. Yep. So, well, there you have it. Great stuff. Hey, let's take a look at our Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. And I don't know if this is good or sad, but hot topics are track champions. We're getting to that point of the season where we have some track champions. And let's start off at Knoxville, out at the famed Marion County Fairgrounds. Ian Madsen, the track champ, and he actually clinched. He had a pretty good point lead and extended on everything, but he ended up going to victory lane on Saturday night. So kudos to Ian and everyone with that team.
Yeah, he put a nice exclamation point on it.
Yeah, he really did. So great run by Ian. Last week on our preview podcast, we had Chris Andrews on talking about the Attica Track Championship. DJ Foose had closed in pretty good on him, but Chris was able to fend off the challenge. So kudos to Chris Andrews getting that championship.
It's hard talking about. You know, it's fun. Like, the thing that helps the Knoxville hangover is to talk about the points championships. But then when they're over.
Yeah, exactly. What more do we have? Exactly. At Lernerville, it was A.J. Flick scoring the championship, and that's a multi-time champion there. Great family racers.
Yeah.
So there. And how about this one? At Mercer, his 4th championship, Jack Soderman Jr., and he won the race on Saturday night, but he had trouble getting out of the car because in early August at Sharon Speedway, he broke the T3, 4, and 5 vertebrae in his back and is still wheeling and winning races and a championship.
Man. I mean, the fact he's back in the car is awesome, but it can't be fun in a sprint car bouncing around.
He
like,
said it was a
you
little
know
painful.
it's gotta,
He said it was a little painful.
It's gotta be
You
awful.
think? Well, doesn't he do? He does like stunt work and things like that.
Yeah, he is a little,
He's a little bit
wild
of a,
man.
Well, he's a wild man, but that's 3 broken vertebrae in your back, and you're out on a sprint car track, and you win the championship and the race.
And you can't get out of the car.
Yeah, you can't go to the wing, but you can wheel the thing. You know, I mean, I guess he did. He just said in his post-race comments it took him a little time to get up to the wing.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So what a great guy, and congratulations to Jack Soderman, 4th time the championship, and the Soderman family, Western Pennsylvania. I mean, that is just sprint car racing to a T. So great stuff with the track champions. Want to mention someone else who is very hot, Brock Zierfoss, 3 straight at Port Royal going into Fair Week.
Yeah.
How about
and
that?
And the Tuscarora 50 coming up.
And the Tuscarora 50 coming up.
In a tight points battle, he's gaining.
Exactly. And speaking of which, we have Dylan Cisney on Saturday on our Wing Nation program presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. And Brock Zierfoss right now, one of the hottest drivers in the country, as he is gaining in on points. So going to be fascinating to watch what happens up at the Speed Palace over the next 10 days or so. Big fun, that's for sure. And there you have it, our Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery, hot topics, of course, great hats, great shirts, great sweatshirts, hoodies, whatever you need, they've got it. ClassicInkUSA.com. Find out why drivers like Dominic Selzy, like Brian Brown, like Danny Dietrich, Danny Lasowski, Brady Bacon, and more, they choose Classic Ink. You can as well. www.classicinkusa.com. That's classicinkusa.com. We need to step away. When we come back, the Buckeye Bullet, fresh off from a trip to Victory Lane, Dave Blaney, he joins us next.
Only the best go 3 abreast, and they're coming to a track near you in 2017. No matter where you're at, the American Sprint Car Series is near you. From the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, presented by the Mad TV Motorsports Network, to any of the 7 ASCS Regional Tours, there's over 150 nights of racing to choose from in 2017. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates. Listen live on RacingBoys.com and get the full rundown at ASCSRacing.com.
Today, Toyota's featured NASCAR fan is Dr. Tom Pierce.
So, Dr. Tom, what's your claim to fame?
Well, due to all of Toyota's NASCAR wins last year, I wrote thousands of doctor's notes for fans for overexcitement hypertension, a condition that requires a day off work to rest.
Sounds like a responsible doctor.
Doctor? I'm not a real doctor, bro. Would a doctor get a guy off work for overexcitement about the new Camry? Because I did.
Let's go NASCAR fans!
Toyota, let's go places. To learn more, visit toyotaracing.com. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
O'Reilly!
Need auto parts? Get them with a click at the new O'ReillyAuto.com. Shop online and we'll ship the order to your home, or you can pick it up for free at the O'Reilly Auto Parts store nearest you. The choice is yours. Shop the way that's convenient for you and get the exact parts you need to get the job done right. O'ReillyAuto.com. Parts for your car wherever you are.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, this is Greg Hodnett. You're watching Wing Nation.
Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation here on Motor Racing Network, brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. We are glad you joined us. Big week around here as we get ready for Darlington on the NASCAR side. It is STP race week, and you can the STP 5-in-1 plus fuel system helps keep stored fuel fresh with STP Ultra 5-in-1 plus fuel system cleaner plus stabilizer. So make sure you check out our friends at STP as we get ready for the big one at Darlington. Coming off a big one at Atomic. I always get Attic and Atomic crossed up a little bit. Scored the victory, a last lap pass, driving for Dan Motter, that number 71 M car. Joining us on the line, the Buckeye Bullet, Dave Blaney, joins us. Hello, Dave. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, guys. How are you?
We are doing fantastic. Tell us a little bit about the win and what you went through on Saturday night up at Atomic.
I don't know. Somebody had to win. That's usually how it works. So we were just that guy that night. That's how it was.
Tell us a little bit about the track. Atomic is usually nice and wide and racy, and it seemed like lap traffic kind of played into your hands.
It was wide, slick. Was pretty racy. It got a little bit rubber down in the feature both nights, and took some of the side-by-side stuff away. But we started near the front, or on the front row actually, so we weren't too far away from the lead the whole time. And actually, Chad Kemenall got bottled up a little bit on the last lap and let me get close, and had a little lane to get through. But it was fun. We haven't raced much this year. Have been fairly competitive a few times and not great some other times, and but we had a good weekend. We ran good both nights, and like I said, standing in the right place, right time the second night, so it was fun.
Dave, you've done so much in the sport. Former World of Outlaw champion, of course, great NASCAR career along the way. The thrill of victory, do you still get the thrill of victory? I mean, and you're a laid-back guy, so I don't know how we would interpret it, but it's still got to be a real thrill to go out there and beat everybody on a Saturday night like you ended up doing.
Thanks, I think, Steve.
Yeah.
Actually, you could ask my guys, I was more excited Saturday night than I have been in a long time. It was a little bit of a shock right there at the end to win it, and I guess maybe when you get older too, you don't think many more are coming, so you get pretty excited about the ones that do.
That's awesome. Dave, you said it was a little bit of a shock, and obviously, like Steve mentioned, you've had a ton of success in your career, sprint cars, NASCAR. How difficult is it now to race part-time and keep up with those guys like Kemenall and the full-time All-Stars?
I mean, it is hard. There's two factors there, 54 years old and part-time, and when you add those together, it adds up to nothing. It's hard to run. It's hard to run good. But yeah, we do have some decent weeks, and this one came.
No doubt. Dave, when we look at what you're doing, you've talked about a limited schedule along the way this year. How is it determined when you go racing? When do you, and I know you follow along with Ryan's career on NASCAR as well. How do you determine your schedule? How do you determine when it's time to pack up the car and go race?
Most of it is determined around Ryan's schedule and which ones we're going to go to. And then it's also the type of sprint car race, a bigger race, or where it's at is some of it too. But this year it was more not a lot of money to spend on it, and that's why we haven't raced much at this point. I don't think we've run 15 times at the most this summer. So all those factors, I guess.
Wow. Dave, what do you have left on the schedule after this past weekend?
We're excited to go to the Tuscarora 50. Really excited, Steve, actually. to
there
go.
We go. Wow. Wow. A bubbly Dave Blaney. How about that?
But there's that weekend, there's a Casey Kane race at Lincoln a couple weeks after that. Maybe the National Open at Williams Grove. There's another one somewhere in the World Finals. So I do have 6 or 8 maybe left as well.
You're still based here your team is based here in the Charlotte area, correct?
Yeah, our team is in Salisbury, so everything's been there for a while.
Yep, indeed.
Oh, that's cool. How much
so
does
we have no home games. It's a big trip wherever we go.
That's right,
Yeah,
absolutely.
unfortunately, there's not a lot of sprint car racing around here for us. Dave, how often does Ryan tinker with the sprint cars, and is he asking ever to get in your seat?
No, he doesn't really. He was really young when I ended my main sprint car career.
And I think we ended that phone call. Yep, we've lost the phone call. So, that's a fascinating thing. I've interviewed Ryan a lot of times on stage at Ford hospitality events, and his dad, the sprint car racer, is almost like he just reads about it in books.
That's interesting.
Because Ryan's dad, when he was coming up through, was the NASCAR racer.
That's interesting, and I know Dave more from, obviously I talked to him a lot at the NASCAR races, but knowing him more as a sprint car driver, so it seems natural that you would think Ryan would be,
Because the question we get a lot of times is, have you ever wanted to go sprint car racing? Ryan says, well, I grew up in North Carolina and late model land.
Yeah,
why would I,
interesting.
It is, it really is. Dave, I guess we got you back there. So Ryan doesn't tinker around with the sprint car at all?
Sorry about that. No, not a whole lot. Like I said, he was really young when my sprint car career kind of ended, or my main career, and so he doesn't really remember, I don't think, a whole lot about it. But I think if he had a choice at the moment, he probably would try to run some. He loves watching them, and but he's kind of in a spot where if he was like Kyle Larson and grew up in him, it'd be one thing, but he'd be new to him as well. So I think he's better off concentrating on the day job. He's doing okay.
Yeah, he is doing great, as a matter of fact.
Dave, when you were kind of done with your NASCAR career, you went back sprint car racing. Tony Stewart, same thing. A lot of the drivers, Kyle Larson gets a chance, Casey Kane gets a chance, they go race sprint cars. What is it about sprint cars that you love so much?
I wish I knew. Honest to God, Erin, I wish I knew. They're, I don't know. I just like being around them.
The thrill of driving it? Is it the community?
It's a little bit of everything. When you grow up doing it, there's some of that you don't want to let go. And yeah, I've known the same people doing it for a long, long time. And, but as you know, just the thrill of sitting in those things and trying to race them is pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Pretty cool indeed. Dave, I know when we've talked to you in the past, you've tinkered around with building your own car and a lot of the technical end of it. Are you still doing a lot of that? Or are you still kind of at times doing science projects with the race car, or have you kind of gone to a more traditional setup with the car as you work through this year?
We've been both this year. We've had one that we built ourselves, and we've had some just normal cars. A Maxim car is what we won the other night with. And in one way, if we're a really limited schedule and we got things to try, it's a little bit easier to do that. You don't really care if you have a bad night. So if we got more serious and we're going to run a lot of races, I'm sure we would just kind of hone in on one thing and just run that one car only and fine tune from there. But when you're part-time, it's easier to try to learn, I guess.
Dave, when I talk to a lot of the guys now, they talk a lot about the dirty air and the right rear being stuck in the track so much, and it sounds like the cars are so much different from even when I did it just a few years ago. When you came back into sprint car racing, did you notice a huge difference, or was it kind of like riding a bike and getting back in and it felt good?
Well, for me, it had been so long that you didn't know what to expect. Even if they were exactly the same, I'm sure I'd lost a bunch of, I don't know, I guess familiarity with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it did seem a lot different. But I know maybe the setup things that used to work back in the, just say, late 90s don't really apply much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just due to the speed. The engines run better, you're going faster, and when you're going faster, that's where you see dirty air, and it's all speed related.
Mm-hmm.
The slower they go, you don't see that. So the speeds are up, and then when that happens, more things happen to you.
Yeah, it is. Always an evolution, always a changing product as well, and changing conditions as well. Dave, congratulations again on that win, and thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
It's always a pleasure, Steve.
There we go. How about that, man? We're all fired up now. Oh, we're gonna have you doing Carl Edwards type backflips before we get done.
I just really called to talk to Erin. I mean, you have to know that. Everybody has to tell you that.
Dude, it's Erin or Ashley, and I always know that's the case.
Thanks,
Believe me, I'm just the knucklehead that gets in between the conversation. I get that, that's for sure.
Awesome.
Appreciate the time, Dave. Thanks, man.
Bye, guys.
There we go. Dave Blaney, a cutting up
And
Dave Blaney.
animated.
An animated Dave Blaney, a going to the Tuscarora 50 like apparently everyone else on the planet. Dave Blaney, great stuff. Always enjoy talking to the Buckeye Bullet, although apparently it prefers to talk to Erin. Hey, let's step away. Bud Kaeding, he joins us next here on
For
the
over
program.
50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even dirt late model have taken the checkered flag on Weld racing wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld racing wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld racing wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing, proven speed.
When your battery goes dead, everything can come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Chicagoland Speedway turns up the volume September 14th through 17th. Be here Sunday, September 17th for a pre-race concert by country music artist Josh Turner, followed by NASCAR's Best Racing. Tickets for the Tales of the Turtles 400 are available now, and every race ticket is a concert ticket. Get your tickets now at ChicagolandSpeedway.com. Chicagoland Speedway. The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs start here.
I'm Jason Johnson. You're watching Wing Nation.
Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation here on MRN.com, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. Great point battle, great racing, of course, out on the King of the West series. We've got Gio Scelzi and Bud Kaeding mixing it up here. Took the win on Saturday night out at Petaluma, and the point lead, Bud Kaeding, driver of that number 0 Williams Motorsports car, joins us on the line now. Hello, Bud. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me back.
Well, we watched a little video of it, Erin and I did before the race. Looks like a little bit of a rough racetrack, but tell us about your ride to the win on Saturday night.
Yeah, no, the track was definitely tricky. You know, the last couple of times we've been there, it's been pretty slick. But in years past, Petaluma was known for it's right down there by the bay, and when the tide comes back in, that place normally gets heavier. And this weekend it kind of did that. It got real choppy in the corners and rough, and made it pretty technical. It was really slick around 3 and 4 on the bottom, and then through 1 and 2 there was a lot of holes. And we started on the front row outside of the feature, and Bobby McMahon beat me on the start, and it was just he was good enough to just stay in front of me. It was hard to gain that advantage to get by him, and then finally slipped up coming off of 2, and we were fortunate enough to get under him going into 3, and and got the lead. And then after that was just make sure we made clean laps and didn't tear our stuff up. So all in all, a good race. It's been a rough summer. We haven't had very many good runs, so our team really needed that win.
But that's what I was going to just ask. You know, you got back in victory lane, took back the points lead, but you said it's been a little bit of a rough season. Talk about the season and assess how you've done so far.
Terrible. We've won since April. We've just been not just I don't know. We haven't really put ourselves in good positions. Our cars have been pretty good. Probably made a lot of bad decisions. Had a good run going a couple weeks ago and spun out. Just bonehead move on my part, and then we've had some flat tires. Just bad luck making mistakes. But I guess in any sport, racing as well as Erin, you just sometimes you go through these slumps, and to come out with a good weekend last weekend is definitely something that could help turn it around.
Bud, when we talk about 2016, Erin and I, we've been all over the country talking to drivers, and especially veteran racers have had trouble getting their arms around, or 2017, I mean, getting their arms around it, whether it's a tire change or whatever it is. Has that at all contributed to your struggle, or has it just been that kind of weird off-the-wall stuff, or have you felt comfortable in the race car along the way?
There's a lot of things going on with sprint car racing out here in California, and we haven't really raced enough this summer, so I contribute part of it to that. We just we'll race once and we'll have a week off, and then we'll race twice and have 2 weeks off. And I don't know, to stay good and to stay crisp, that's really not good, from a driver standpoint at least. Especially when we race against other guys that they're not stuck in the middle of anything, and they're back in Knoxville racing, and we're at home watching it on TV. So guys like Corey Eliason, he's probably raced 15 times this month, and we've raced 4 times. So it helps guys like that, like I said, stay crisp and stay sharp on what's going on with their cars, and just, race speed, keeping the race speed up. So we just got to get our stuff together, get racing again, and like I said, this win was definitely a good way to kick off the last half of the season here.
But when we watched the video from Petaluma and we talked about how it looked like it was a bit rough, I always think a lot of the tracks that you guys run are small bull rings, elbows up. Obviously, you've raced at all different types of tracks, different types of cars. Would you prefer to run more races on bigger, wider tracks like Knoxville or Midwest, or is that your type of thing, those small bull rings?
Well, I mean, preferably I'd like bigger tracks out here. That's never going to happen, obviously. There's not many new tracks popping up these days. So, just having so many small tracks out here definitely hurts California drivers when they try to go back in the Midwest and compete at places like Knoxville and Eldora. Just kind of listening to Dave Blaney talking about dirty air. We don't have a whole lot of that out here on the little tracks. So, that's really the toughest thing we have to deal with when we go back there and race. Just like Knoxville, I've been there a couple times around the Nationals, and we've timed in well. Every time we went, it's just going into turn one of that heat race, just unsure of what the heck you're supposed to do, and your car won't turn, and the placement of your car, it takes you a little bit of time to kind of figure that stuff out.
It's got to be a challenge when I guess, the layman in me is like, I guess that makes some sense what the challenges are. When we look at, sprint car racing out in California, of course, King of the West Series is where you're doing your work. Are you getting the chance, or are you looking for more 360 races? What's your status been with the various 360 series out there, and have you had much chance to go race with them this year?
I think we've ran 1 or maybe 2 races with them, not due to any reason other than we only have one 360, and we didn't get that thing back until June. So, and we've had struggling with it, trying to get it to run. So, I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, our race team is dedicated to 410 sprint car racing in California, not so much 360 stuff, but it'd be nice to fill more of it in. And, as far as what series it is, it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, it's, I guess at the end of the day, whatever series it is, they all end with the checkered flag. So that's kind of what we're chasing. So we just need to get out there and get more of it going. We've got Ron Shaver doing some work on our 360 motor, so hopefully he can get it going in a good direction for us and get us more competitive with it.
Bud, you have 3 more points races, I believe, with the King of the West Series before the championship battle comes to an end. How obviously winning the championship is super important, but do you approach those races any different, or how much would it mean to get that championship?
Well, I mean, when I started racing for Williams Motorsports, I mean, that was the goal, was to win this King of the West championship. And I think 3 or 4 years now we've ran second in it by anywhere from 9 to 40 points. So, to win the championship would be great. My dad's won it, my brother's won it, and for years that was the pinnacle of California sprint car racing, was to win the King of California or the King of the West Golden State Championship. So that's what we're really shooting for. But, the way that the points are now, the way that they've got it structured, it's really tough to get an advantage. Getting extra points, it's only a 1-point drop per position. So, we have 3 races left, and we're either hoping to win them or the 3 of them ran out. So one or the other will come out on top.
The way this year's been, it could be either, that's for sure. Unfortunately, so much weather has affected the racing. Well, Bud, we certainly appreciate the time joining us here on the program. Thanks for the time. Congratulations on the win, and I know we'll talk to you down the road. Thanks again, man.
All right. Thank you guys for having me. Have a good day.
There we go. That's Bud Kaeding, driver of that Williams Motorsports Zero Cars. Stay with us. More in just a moment.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Classic Ink USA Screen Printing and Embroidery is constantly testing the limits of custom racewear and specialized embroidery. Headquartered in Western Pennsylvania, Classic Ink holds the highest standard, maximizing your return as well as the ultimate customer satisfaction. From track swag fanwear to quick crew crewwear, Classic Ink has you covered. Their dedicated staff and designers will keep your race team and fans looking sharp. Contact Classic Ink today and get your team ahead of the competition. www.classicinkusa.com. That's Classic Ink, at the track and on your back.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum's newest feature exhibit is our Salute to Champion Sammy Swindell, June 9th through October 15th, at the only museum in the world solely dedicated to sprint car racing, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa. Stop in and check out 8 of Sammy's original race cars and see his trophies, uniforms, and more as you learn about his outstanding career. The Salute to Champion Sammy Swindell is only this season at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville.
Hi, I'm Terry McCarl. You're watching Wing Nation.
Welcome back. Thanks, T-Mac. We're having a great time, and we appreciate you joining us. Erin Evernham and Steve Post here on MRN Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Time to talk a little bit about the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, turn number 2 at the Knoxville Raceway. Birthdays today. Brad Knopfsinger's birthday today. How about this? Darren Pittman's birthday today.
Wow, he had a nice birthday present this
Yes, he
past
did.
week.
Absolutely. Coming up later in the week, Tim Kaeding, Bill Vukovich, Sheldon Haudenschild, Norman Martin, Roger Rager, and Dean Jacobs. But today's birthday would have been George Nestler's birthday. George, a 2014 inductee into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. He was a New Jersey-based team owner that was also a bus driver for the city of Piscataway.
Imagine those bus rides.
Imagine those bus rides, exactly. And I just love to say Piscataway,
Yeah,
almost like
it's a good one.
Sheboygan. Exactly. 1930s, he started racing. New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, fielded cars in ARDC, URC, USAC, and a bunch of other series. Listen to this list of drivers, though. Lee Earnshaw, Nick Fernaro, Larry Dixon, Earl Hallequist, Don Dunstan, Toby Tobias, Tom Bigelow, Wally Dallenbach, and a whole bunch of others.
That's a stout list.
That is a stout list. With URC alone, he had 5 championships, 56 wins, died in 1993. But stories like George Nestler are the stories that are contained in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in turn number 2. Want to mention this one coming up this weekend. We don't talk a lot about 305 racing, but the Race Saver IMCA, the IMCA Sprint Nationals coming up at Eagle Raceway Thursday, an open house. Friday and Saturday preliminary nights, Sunday championship nights. Last year, Erin, 117 entries.
Woo-wee.
And they think they might be higher now.
That's awesome.
How about
I
that?
love to see the 305 series coming.
Exactly. Really, really well. And Jack Dover was the winner last year. So great, great stuff along the way there with the Race Saver IMCA Sprint Nationals at Eagle Raceway. Get out there this weekend and support the great 305 racers along the way. Of course, Lucas Oil ASCS National Tours in Jackson. We saw great 360 races up there. So you throw the ASCSA or the ASCS guys in there, man, that's going to be some great races. They've got 410s on the card as well. World of Outlaws are in Skagit, and, of course, the Juniata County Fair stunts at Port Royal. Hey, we appreciate Dave Blaney and Bud Kaeding for joining us, but more important than all of that, Thank you for joining us here today on MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules
You've been
Tires.
listening to Winged Nation, presented by Hercules Tire. Ride on our strength. You can also find Winged Nation on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and in the MRN.com Media Center. Winged Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.